Welcome to Flash CS5 Tutorial 41, Dice Part 2. It's the follow-up to Part 1, which I have opened on my computer. Naturally, we don't want that dice to be spinning until we tell it to, so let's open the library panel. Let's open that dice movie clip. Select the highest layer, insert a layer, call it Action Script, AS. Insert on the second frame, insert a blank keyframe, select frame 1, open the Actions panel, and put in a stop, S-T-O-P, open close bracket, semicolon. Now if we tried it, this dice wouldn't be spinning. Go back to scene 1. Again, select this dice layer, lock all the layers so we don't put something on our action layer. Insert a layer, call this roll. This is when we roll the dice. R-O-L-L and B-T-N. This is where we're putting our roll button. I already have it made up. I'm just going to paste in the frame and explain it to you. There's my roll button. Moving it over here. It's just a regular button, and I called it. Actually, when I made it, it's a movie clip, so I made a symbol. I just took my oval tool, modified it, converted it to a symbol, and the symbol I used was a movie clip. And when I got it on the stage, I called it button_MC. So I think by now you could make a button, and if you can, then give me some feedback and I'll do this on the whole thing in a different format. If I open the library panel and look at this button now, which is a movie clip, it has two layers, a text layer and the button layer. That way there you can modify it if you should need to change it. So that's just a button. That's called the roll button. Back on scene 1. Now make sure that this button has an instance name. Click on it. Make sure you give it this name, button_MC with a capital B. Open your Actions panel, and underneath this Get Random, I want to put in some lines of code. Now, it says button_MC, capital B, that's the movie clip we just made. Period, add event listener, we've done dozen of these. Small a, capital E, capital L, that'll turn blue if it's spelt right. Open bracket, this is a mouse event, capital M, capital E. Period, click, C-L-I-C-K, all capitals. That's where the blue stops, comma, and I'm calling this start, capital S-T-A-R-T, that's the name of the function. Close bracket, semicolon. I then copied that word start. Down here, function, pasted the word start, open bracket, event, E-V-E-N-T, that's blue, colon, mouse event, you can copy this mouse event and put it in here, capital M, capital E, close bracket, colon, void in function, same color. Open curly bracket, then I'm doing a trace, just test. And I'm going to highlight this out for a minute, so I just have a test, and close curly bracket. So now, when we run this test, we should see the button that when I pressed it says test. Over here, we generated to number 1. This number 1 is the number 1 on the dice that hasn't been rolling yet. And eventually when we roll, click this dice will roll, but we know it's working because when I click it, it says test right there. So I know that this button is being reckoned. Let's go back to that frame 1 of the Actions panel, open up the Actions panel, and type in this. Dice movie clip, capital D_MC, dice_MC, that's that one we made. That's this one here. That's sitting on the 1. Period, go to and play, small g, small t, capital A, capital P, open bracket 2, close bracket, semicolon. Now we'll see this dice spinning and spinning and spinning. So before we try it, let's go back to that dice movie clip. Here it is here. And let's go to this right here. One frame past all those. Insert a blank keyframe. Open your actions panel up and put a stop here. Otherwise, it'll keep rolling and rolling. S-T-O-P, open, close, bracket, open, close, bracket, semicolon. And let's test this. Now, access undefined property, line 20. I obviously didn't give that movie clip an instance name. Very common fault. Go back to the timeline. Go back to scene 1. Select this dice right here. Unlock that layer. Select the dice and look up here, and we didn't give it an instance name. DICE_MC. Now try her again. Test the movie. It's going to come up a 1 eventually. Here it's rolling and it just stops. And we stopped it on a frame that doesn't have anything. Let's test it again. This time it called up a 3. So if we had this completed, it'd end up being a 3. But it's working, it's rolling, and it's going to that frame that we just put in called stop. Back on scene 1, I want to take from this layer here, dice 6, click on 6, drag it all the way down, come off it, go back on it till you get that fuzzy square, click it, drag it over here, go back on it, click it and drag it back. So now we have all that looking like that. Let's go back to the action script for a minute. Select that first layer, first frame of the actions layer, open the action panel, and under this get random number, insert, and you're going to put in this code. Hang on, I'll go through it with you. I don't know if you've done these before, but we're calling this it's a variable. We're going to call it holder. Give it any name you want with a colon. Object, capital O, object, capital O, it'll turn blue, equals new space object, small n, capital O. What this is doing, this syntax, it makes a spot where I can use it sort of like a movie clip. I can write code on it. It's a variable that I can write code on, but it's more like a holder where you can hold letters and words and things like that. So open and close bracket, semicolon. I rewrote holder, this is what we're putting in there, is equal to, and here's a string, open bracket, quotation, dice, quotation, so you'll read the word dice, that'll be in here, plus, then string, capital S-T-R-I-N-G, that turns blue, open bracket, dice, that's that variable up there, that dice variable, the one that gets selected when it rolls, close bracket, plus, open quotations, underscore MC, close quotation, close bracket, semicolon. So whatever dice is selected, this is going to make a word up that is like the instance name of that dice, like the movie clips, like movie clip dice 1, movie clip 2, 3. And to show you how that works, we got a trace, that turns blue, open bracket, holder, close bracket, colon. So when we run this, whatever dice number we come up with, that's going to tell us what movie clip we need to run. So test this movie. So see that? Look, it selects it this, and this is going to say dice 2 movie clip is what you need to do. All right. So how do we get that dice 2 movie clip? Down here, when we press that button, it's going to send us to this movie clip, and we know that that movie clip will go to the end where it stops. So what we're going to do is go back to this dice movie clip and tell that movie clip to send us somewhere else. Let's open dice movie clip. Here it is. And we know this is that stop that we have right now. So let's move that over here. Click on it and drag it over one. Click on that last frame. Insert, convert to a blank keyframe. Open that actions panel up and type in this code. Movie clip, capital M, capital C, it turns blue, bracket, parent, close bracket, period, go to end stop, small g, small t, capital A, capital S, bracket 2, close bracket, semicolon. This tells us go back to scene 1 and go to the second frame, and that second frame is what we were working on now. If I go to scene 1, that's this second frame here that we've been working on. Let's insert a blank keyframe here on this actions layer, frame 2. Open it up, put this code in. This, and notice these are square brackets. They're the lowercase of the curly bracket. This square bracket, open square bracket, holder, close square bracket, period, go to end stop, bracket 2, close bracket, semicolon. This holder, remember, is what carries what dice we want to stop at. So for example, if we spin the dice and 4 came up, this holder would say movie clip, or it would say dice 4 underscore movie clip, and this will tell us go to frame 2. And if I look at frame 2 of any of these movie clips and we remember what they were, frame 2 is the number, and that's how we get that dice to come up. Let's just see what takes place right now, if this will do something for us. So this is going to come up a 6. Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? Let's do it again. It's going to come up a 4. Okay. The next thing we want to do is be able to reset it. Make sure all the layers are locked. Select this roll button, insert a layer, call it reset button. RST, reset, BTN, that's the reset button layer. Insert a blank keyframe right here. And here we're going to make a button. And I just put that button on my stage. There it is there. Again, I think you know how to make a button by now. What you need to know is that it's on this second frame of this reset button layer. It's called reset dice. If I look inside of it, it's built the same as the other play button, where I have text on one and the rectangle on another. What's important is on scene 1 that you have it instance name, and here I have it called reset underscore MC. Now we need the action code for that button. So open this actions layer, frame 2, where we have this holder, and type in this, type in all this in. Don't worry about this. We're typing all this in, and I'll go through it with you. Reset underscore MC, that's the button we just made. Period, add event listener, you know that. Open bracket, it's a mouse event. Period, click, comma. Now we're calling this one reset. Close bracket, semicolon. Function, copy reset, put it here. Open bracket, event, small e, colon, mouse event. Close bracket, colon, void. And I don't think we need to trace this because I think it's going to work. The first thing we got to do is take all these. I would write this once. I would write dice 1 underscore MC period go to and stop frame 1. Frame 1 is the if I open up again, let you know, show you, so you can see, are these movie clips. On frame 1, that's where it's empty. That's where it's empty. It goes to frame 2 when it's selected. Let's go back to this action script. So once you write it for this one, copy it and paste it 5 times. Then you got a dice 2, a dice 3, a dice 4, a dice 5, and a dice 6. And also the dice movie clip. That's the one that does the where it rolls. We got to take that dice underscore MC and go to on frame 1, and that's where what that looks like right now. And also we want to be able to do this over, so go to and play, small g, small t, capital A, capital P, open bracket, 1, close bracket, semicolon, and close curly bracket if it didn't come up. This is what's going to allow us to start all over again. With a little bit of luck, test movie, there's going to select dice 5, so click here to roll dice, and I'm rolling them. 5 will come up. Reset dice. When I reset dice, it's already picked the number. In this case, it's going to be a 1, so it's going to spin them, and a 1 will come up. Reset dice. This time it's going to be a 4. There's many places you can use this. You can make 2 of them if you want it to be really dice and not 1 die. And there's one final thing I want to do. Select the dice 6 layer, lock all the layers, insert a layer. Let's just call it text, T-E-X-T, and select the second frame, insert a blank keyframe, and you're going to make some text, and the text you're going to have says you rolled a, and stick that right above the dice. So when you do your dice, control test movie, click, you rolled a 4, and we can reset it. I hope you learned something from these tutorials, and I hope you use what you learned.